Yeah. How we doing? Happy Wednesday. Previously on Kimba TV. Come on!
Let's get it, Kimba.
Who juicing? Ow! And that's what we talked about last night. I said if this swing fails, it would be an obvious short. So people were talking about 52.4, 52.5. Your daily open is right here. Your daily open is 517, and then I would re-enter again if it's a swing fail. The reason why I'm not doing anything blind or waiting for a swing fail is because I have a flight coming. So I'd rather get stopped out and I'd rather re-enter. There we go. How we doing? We Gucci? Shiba! Veriler says, I short 52500. Word? My entry is $10 better. Let me turn all this shit on. Motion cap. Should we get it? Is everybody caught up on the YouTube highlights? Because we're going to get nasty today, y'all.
Shout out Kimber gang who's juicing.
What you know about that? Talk to me. Who juicing? Who juicing? Who juicing? And I added another 70 on the Kraken. So I'm probably with MEXC combined. I'm at 200. I would love to get another 100 on TapBit. I see you. I know a bunch of you guys took that 525, 524. The math is the math, y'all. Who juicing? I'm fucking so exhausted from my flight. And I got to fly back to Cali again today, y'all. I got to pack a whole bunch of shit, too. I'm here with you guys till market close. Pretty cool, though, right? People were asking, like, where my stop loss was. Where did I say my stop loss was? Behind 786. We waited for the 52.5. Look at my entry, 52510. So did exactly how we planned for, Marino. I think you were here yesterday, so you should know. We were adding, yeah? So do you remember I had like 82 biddy on Kraken? I added, basically I added enough so that got up close to like 156. I had like 82, 83 or whatever. I added like 70 and change. So combined with the 46.3 on MEXC and the Kraken, now I'm at 200 Bitcoin. So we'll see if we can break 50. Yeah. But same as yesterday, so make sure you get caught up on the highlights. Budgie, what's going on? Drop Dead Betty, what's going on? Crypto Hawk says, bro, you called the GP retest squeeze to 775. It was like we already saw the movie. Yes, Crypto Hawk. And do you see what I did? You know what's crazy is you guys are juicing so hard that even with my, usually I'm in like first page, right? Usually I'm first page. Even with my 63 grand, I'm like, I don't even crack. I'm 21st. You guys are juicing so hard that I'm not even on the first two pages. I'm on the goddamn third page. I see y'all juicing. I know you guys are juicing. Yes. I can see. Swabizi says, not fully filled, I see. Well, MEXC is fully filled because I can't go bigger than 46.33. I can't go any bigger than 46.33. You want to know how baller this entry is? Can you see it? Oh. Look at how baller the entry is. Just one, y'all. I said, fuck this shit. The math is the math. I just had 40. I just entered max position on 52, 510. That's how, that you got to believe in the math sometimes. Yeah. Debar Talk. Aero Fury says, not gonna lie, I turned bullish when we went all the way to the 786 yesterday. Imagine how retail felt Still in my short though. Ah, interesting. Well, now you know, Arrow Fury. Wolf Investing says, didn't know you were in a trade. Just make sure you get caught up on the highlights, Wolf Investing. Because yesterday, did you know that I was in a 80 Bitcoin short and we talked about it on Discord before it happened? That's all the stuff that we talked about yesterday. So if you missed yesterday's stream, no big deal. But the coolest thing is that we talked about these shorts while I was in Hawaii. So yesterday was really just about reading all the Discord posts I made while I was in Hawaii. And then pretty much everybody was like, well, if I didn't get the short, where can I get in? And we talked about the 52.4, 52.5. And, you know, that's how you have some people like Crypto Hawk talking about, holy shit, it did exactly what we talked about. Chris Bay says, have you shaved first, then added new? So Chris Bay, I did literally what I said I would do. Do you remember what I said? I broke it down on how I would do it. So yeah, I shaved a little bit and then I added. So my, like, it's maybe like 1 or 2 Bitcoin over, but if you add my Kraken and MEXC, we're at about 200 Bitcoin now. I might be at like 201.2 or something, but yeah, Chris Bay, if you need to know, just watch the highlights, brother. I did literally exactly what I said I would do. GG says, big support at 50,800. See if we can break it today. Yeah, pretty cool though, right? Orts GG, that it was last Saturday while I was lettucing up in Hawaii when I started talking about 50,800. And that 50,800 has held for 2 more times since I posted. So it's cool that you can see that there's big support at 50,800, but it's even cooler if you can tell before it gets there, like how I did. Bugatti! How many of y'all in a long from here is what I'm assuming? Yeah, that's not bad. You can't lose. You know what I mean? So even if it does like start to come back and it round trips you, who gives a shit? You put yourself in a position where you could have juiced the fuck up, and worst case, you were gonna break even. So that's already a W. Fralagana says, how do you determine when to take profit gradually and when all at once? There's no right or wrong. I think if like I'm getting stopped out, I might close the whole thing all at once type of shit. But for the most part, you want to enter with multiple limits and you want to exit with multiple limits. Santa, what's going on, Santa? Invictus is nice. Thanks for recap. It's my pleasure, Invictus. For 11 peace. Talked about higher single print. Can we talk about lower single print too? For example, 50K zone. How can we prepare for that, bro? So yeah, we've been getting ready for quite some time. Basically, I would line up that, and go swing high. So do you know why I keep talking about the 49.8 level? Do you know why I keep talking about the 49.8 level? For 11 piece. So it would be the same thing, brother. Identify levels and see what kind of confluence you have. You have that. You have volume node, and you just had the Fibonacci. Coco Vex says, would you long that? No. Yeah, I said yesterday that I'm going to try to swing for a home run, if you remember. So I wouldn't long, but just like how I anticipated the 50,800 last Saturday when I was in the short, I would be aware of it, and I would, maybe TP a little bit, Coco Vex, but I think eventually it loses. I'm trying to swing for a home run all the way down to 33, 32. Okay, but that doesn't mean that I have levels all the way from here till then that I'm gonna be watching, right? So I would love to take this all the way and swing for a home run, But my first level of interest, like I said yesterday, and like I said this early morning, is 49.8. Alrighty, but yesterday I was already in the 52.850 short. So people already asked me about the TPs, and people asked me about where they could re-enter, and so make sure you get caught up. Alrighty. At the end of the day, brother, we're all looking at the same shit. We can all see where the volume peaks are. We can see where the Fibonacci levels are, and we can see where all the single prints and naked point of controls are. So clearly, all of the levels that overlap with one another, like 49.8 and single print. Look at this volume point of control and that naked point of control. And then you can see this volume node and that naked point of control on time. So those would all be levels that I would be paying attention to, and I might TP at. But again, just like how we don't blindly long or short limits or just random numbers and we look for data, I'm not going to just randomly put TPs there. I'm going to look at the data. If it looks bullish, then I'll, certainly close it or entertain a hedge long. But I have close to a 200 Bitcoin short basically at the same entry. So imagine if I get my $20,000 move. Jingao, what's going on? Jingao says, how you doing? It finally made it back to 52.5K, right? It was at 3 a.m. at a time here, so I got in a short at late, but still juicing. Jingao, good stuff. You see my thing, right? Jingao.
He just told us to be prepared.
Jingao, you see my entry, right? So, yep. As I've always done for the last 2 years, Jingao, I did exactly what I said I would do. I put my stop loss behind the 786, didn't get stopped out. I added on MEXC and Kraken, and if I wasn't on a flight, I would have added on TapBit too, but I'm going to look for another 100 Bitcoin to add on TapBit. So Jingao says, as we discussed yesterday, loved your TA. Yes, Jingao. The math is the math. Pretty cool, right? Wrong person says, I lost my giveaway bonus on a high leverage trade when 53K happened. That's all right, wrong person. We're going to do more giveaways, so don't worry. Beru says, BRB in 10 to 20 minutes. Nice. Unless you're going to get a bagel, you're fine. Yuki says, Kimba, I was going for profit 50,100. I did not. Would you recommend more conservative like I did or just to snipe it? No, there is no. You got to learn from your own mistakes, Yuki. There's too many variables. Like, I don't exactly know what was in your head for you to do what you did. And so you are the only one that really knows what you did wrong and what you should do differently next time. A lot of times people will be like, fuck, I TP too early. Well, I think it's better to be the guy that TPs too early than the guy that TPs too late. So if you already closed your short, I wouldn't be so hard on yourself talking about I shouldn't have done that. You never know. So I basically my point would be that I don't think you did anything that catastrophically wrong. And if you're really bummed out about closing the short, in your opinion, too early, then maybe you don't close the whole thing next time. Yeah, but like I don't know what your entry was, what your leverage was. I certainly don't know what like your individual trading history was recently. And so maybe you did need to TP aggressively, if you've been taking a couple L's. So I think you're fine, brother. Cyfar says, what will make you add on the other exchange? Same thing as I did yesterday, Cyfar. If it gets to a level that I've identified and if it gives me bearish edge. So I'm still going to try to identify fibs, single prints, volume, try to see what area confluences the most once I have the level identified. So for example, like I could be watching the 0.5 and the single print. Okay. And so like, do you see where this is and that this is this? What is that? Oh, you can't even see. Hold on. What would that be? Do you see where the RSI is for the golden pocket? You see what I'm doing? Do you see where the RSI is on the golden pocket? What is this? It's a hidden bear div, right? What does a hidden bear div mean? Continuation of the original trend. So if it goes up there and it's a clear hidden bear div, and I also see open interest squeezing shorts, then that might be the one that I take. Kalanguista says it could be a bull div on 4 hour or no. Yeah, a bunch of people were talking about that. Sure. You know what's good, but you know what I say, what my reservations about hidden bull divs. This fucker could come all the way down to the 49.8 that I talked about, and it could still be a hidden bull div. You know that, right? Alrighty. So, you know, my stop losses start above the golden pocket, but realistically, spending time above the 0.5, whether it's a 30-minute or a 1 hour, you know, it's going to be different for each person. For me, it would be like 2 30-minute candle closes above 0.5. That would be bullish. Alrighty. So that's it. So you can use like data like that in different ways. If you're bearish, for example, and you know that you don't want to spend that much time above the 0.5, but you know that you're going to, or you think you're going to grab that single print, then you might be looking for a swing fail of all these levels, you know, like a pink, but then close right below the 0.5. Right? So there could be like a short opportunity there. There's a long opportunity in the 49.8, 49.5s. Alrighty. So if I show up tomorrow on stream with a long at 49.5, don't be mad at me. But it's just level to level, Andre. And just the same way that we figured out like the 0.5 and the single print to the upside, and we have the 49.8 single print and the 49.6 Fibonacci to the downside, you can do, you keep going. You know, that's one volume. Whoops. Volume, 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 and volume. Naked point of control, naked point of control, naked point of control, single print, single print, single print, single print, single print. And then you can start with Fibonacci like this, and the single prints already locally line up with the first volume node, Kimba box, and single print. Okay? But eventually, as they get lost, you're going to start to do this, you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this. And see how that lines up perfectly with golden pocket. See how this one lines up perfectly with 7.5. So just start identifying levels. What do you think about my big MVD shots before earning today? Well, just be careful because a lot of analysts are predicting that Nvidia is going to beat earnings and that it's going to drive S&P and NASDAQ higher. So I don't know, but that's awesome. I mean, as long as you have risk management, you should know me by now, Peach, that I honestly don't care if you're bullish or bearish. All I really care about is that you have the edge, the data supporting your edge, and that you have good risk management. So whether you're in a long or a short on Nvidia, you have your stop losses and you know exactly what you're going to be losing if something goes wrong, right? So I love it because you're going to, hopefully you juice. So the levels really haven't changed. The single prints are still up there. 51.5, 51.8 would be an interesting thang, and then 49.8 and 49.6 to the downside. So let me, I'm going to run to the kitchen. I'm going to take a quick little piss. I'm going to Latuche up. I'll be back in like 15 minutes. Nothing's really changed too much from yesterday. So 51.5 through 51.8, if it's a swing fail or a failed auction, could be a potential single print grab and go short. You honestly wouldn't want to spend that much time above 51.5. That would be bullish. Other than that, we've talked about how I wouldn't at least consider a long until 49.8, 49.6, lots of confluence. So levels really haven't changed. Roger that. 49.6 to 49.8 is the level of interest. 51.5, 51.8 level of interest. Alrighty, not too hard. Arrow says, do you expect BTC to follow SPX here? Well, it amazes me how it sometimes is correlated to the dollar and sometimes doesn't care at all. So first things first, today was FOMC minutes, right? So you can start with things like, is there strong correlation during FOMC minutes? If there is, what is the data that points to correlation? If there isn't, what's the data that points to the decorrelation? Excluding the fact that it was FOMC minutes today, this is not the first time traditional markets are pumping and Biddy is dumping. So that's just basic memory recall. If you can't remember what happened before, you're going to have to trade it for the first time every single time, right? So hopefully, you can at least have a generalizable recollection on what you would expect it to do when it's Macaulay Culkin, but also the next day. I don't know if you saw me looking at this a little while ago, and then also this. So it's always good to just be prepared. Did you hear what I said about NVIDIA? Yeah, so it's not so much about oh shit, Biddy isn't following S&P. It's about, one, is it the first time that you're seeing this? And two, if it's not, then what happened before? And you can pivot off of different variables, like was it FOMC or was it some sort of like important day or was it random? What did the open interest and the volume look like? So yeah, I got to dip now. But like I said, brother, 51.5 to 51.8 is a potential short, especially if it's a failed auction or a swing failure pattern. If you spend a lot of time above 51.5, in my opinion, that's bullish. Alrighty, and then we talked about how I really wouldn't even think about longing or TPing until the 49.8, 49.6 zone. We nerded out on that yesterday and even harder today, so you can always get caught up on the highlights. Alrighty, so we joked about it, but in all seriousness, if the OI and the 4-hour, hidden bull div is there, if it makes a regular CVD bull div, we've seen it together many, many times, but if enough edges there, don't be mad at me if you see me in a hedge long from 49.5 or 49.6 or something like that, right? Obviously, I'm trying to swing for a home run, so I won't close this until we start to spend above 51.5. All right, that's about it. Can't predict the future, but I think we do a pretty good job of identifying important levels and then having enough patience and discipline to wait for the reaction there. Maybe it's Macaulay Culkin with the NVIDIA earnings. Maybe that's the swing fail on the 51.5 or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't done any TA, but I am excited to start trading traditional markets on BingX starting in March, Hayato. Yeah, so there's plenty of lands that trade traditional markets. I would actually talk with them, Hayato, in Discord. So, all right, you know what it is. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. All right, Bulls, Bears, we're all Lions, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be on again tomorrow, bright and early, and I probably have to end at market close tomorrow too. So let's try to meet up as early as we can. Once again, the stop losses have been talked about. TPs have been talked about. Levels to the upside, 51.5 to 51.8 zone has been talked about. 49.8 to 49.6 zone has been talked about. So just do your best, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know how these levels were constructed, obviously the YouTube highlights are coming up. You can always watch the actual organic stream. And you've got plenty of lions that are good, if not better than me at trading. Just as good, if not better. All right? Exclamation Discord. Ladies and gentlemen, longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Let's get nasty. Sato, tell them what happens if you don't use stop loss. Tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss, Sato. He's gonna smack the shit out of you. I'm gonna be back in Cali tomorrow, so no avatars and no motion cap. All right, love you guys. Have a great night. Peace, everybody. Bugatti.